All right, so it's recording. So I welcome you to today's session, another live session by God's grace. So today we're going to discuss deep breathing for lowering blood pressure, okay? We're going to talk about if it works and if it's sustainable, all right? So before I begin the session properly, I want to just give a security warning. I would never call you to inform you about my live sessions. I don't need to call you, okay? I expect that you would see the information on the group, or I would send the information to you via email, okay? So please save my number. If anyone else calls you with another number saying that they are from me or that they are from the group or the community, that I'm hosting a live session and they want you to read out a code, please don't give out that code to anyone, okay? They are simply trying to hack into your WhatsApp account. So please save my number and know that I would never call you to inform you about these live sessions, okay? Because I cannot call everybody. If I call you, then I have to call everybody, okay? So please also turn on your two-step verification, because when someone wants to hack into your WhatsApp accounts and your two-step verification is active, it's enabled. If it's enabled, WhatsApp would let you know, okay, that someone is trying to get into your account, and they would also tell you not to give out the code if you do not authorize that sign-in, okay? All right, and I'm also still saying thank you to everyone who is supporting me. Even after my deadline is over, people are still reaching out and asking how they can be of help. This is over a month ago, I believe. Yes, so I'm still saying thank you. I'm still appreciating you for coming through for me and supporting me by getting my products. Some even supported me with cash inputs. Okay, so I'm really, really, really grateful, and I'm saying thank you again. Okay, so let's get into today's session. Now we are going to be discussing deep breathing for hypertension. One thing I want to remind us of, okay, is that blood pressure is not something that happens to you. Your blood pressure readings come from you. They come from your heart. You cannot have a perfect blood pressure reading of 120/80 all the days of your life, okay? Sometimes your readings are going to be high, other times they are going to be low. If you had no blood pressure readings, then you would be dead. And if you even had stable blood pressure readings, that is, your readings are always 120/80, 120/80, 120/80, it's actually a problem. Okay, so as a human being who is alive and breathing and active, your blood pressure is going to go up and down, and you cannot have a stable 120/80 reading all the time. Trying to fit everybody in the world into a reading of 120/80 is not realistic. Okay, so a normal blood pressure for you depends on the situation that you are in. Okay, some people have higher readings in the morning, other people have higher readings in the evening times, okay? And naturally, when you lie down, you have lower readings. And when you exercise, when you are stressed out, you know that you have higher readings because your body needs more blood flow. And with more blood flow comes more oxygen, okay? Yes, so just a reminder to you that blood pressure is not something that happened to you. You know, it's not something that you just woke up being a hypertensive patient. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Now, one of the things that would really, really contribute to you having high blood pressure is what we call emotional stress. Okay. Emotional stress is one of those, it's on the top of the list of the reasons why people have hypertension. Okay. And your body actually treats emotional stress like physical stress. So an example of physical stress would be exercise, carrying a huge load on your head, walking, jogging, etc. Okay, now emotional stress is one of those things that will cause you to have a very high reading over time. And most people see emotional stress as a normal thing. They have been in their situations for so long that they begin to see their emotional state as normal. Okay, now there's something we call heart rate variability. Okay, when you breathe in, your heart rate speeds up. Okay, because when you breathe in, you take in more oxygen, and your body sends blood to your lungs to pick up that oxygen for use. On the contrary, when you breathe out, your body tries to manage the oxygen that it has to give you a lower heart rate. Okay, so keep this in mind, heart rate variability. Now, this heart rate variability is one of the indicators that we use to measure how healthy someone is. Okay, so if your brain and your heart are in harmony, if your brain and your heart are working fine, they are coherent, they are working together, okay, then you would have a healthy heart rate variability. And a healthy heart rate variability is around 65, okay? Now, when people check their heart rate variability, you can see a diagram like this, okay? You can see that this is pretty even, okay? However, when somebody has a heart rate variability that is just jagged and scattered like this, there is no pattern to it. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's low. You know, you see some jagged patterns and then it goes high again and then it's jagged. When we see this kind of heart rate variability, it means that the person's heartbeat is irregular. Okay. Now, this is one of the indicators, like I said, that we can use to know how healthy you are. So many of you who are in a state of emotional stress, your brain and your heart are no longer coherent, they are incoherent. You have a heart rate variability like this, okay? Jagged readings, irregular readings because of your irregular heartbeats, okay? Now, when you look at this, it can seem so serious, like how can I change my heart rate variability to become or to look like a healthy heart rate variability? You can change this jagged pattern to look like this healthy pattern simply by breathing, okay? Remember, I said one of the reasons for this unhealthy HRV is emotional stress, okay? So you can change your heart rate variability. Remember, what produces your blood pressure? It's your heart, actually. Okay, so you want to pay attention to your heart as a hypertensive patient. And if this reading is telling you what your heart rate looks like, then it also means that your blood pressure would also be jagged and scattered, okay? And you'd have a high blood pressure, okay? So if you can fix your heart rate variability simply by breathing, then it means that your high blood pressure can come down as well. Okay, so I hope that we understand that. Okay, now we can fix an unhealthy HRV by breathing. Now, most people, if you tell them, okay, you have to relax and you have to breathe, they will just breathe in, okay, 2 seconds, and then 1 second out, okay, and then they breathe again, 2 seconds, and then 1 second out. So if you calculate how many breaths per minute, that's about 20 breaths per minute. Okay, and that's too many breaths. Okay, so if you are able to breathe in for 4 seconds and then you breathe out for 5 seconds, then you have 6 breaths per minute and your HRV would be more like the healthier HRV. Okay, so this can really seem okay, let's talk about these breaths per minute. Okay, when you just breathe in for 2 seconds and you breathe out for 1 second, which is what most people do, if I ask you to relax, that's too many breaths per minute. Okay, and the thing about high blood pressure and breathing is that you are trying to put yourself in a parasympathetic state. Okay, so you have 2 forms of your nervous system. There's a part of your nervous system that controls your movements, okay? It controls how you breathe, how you digest, how you relax, okay? It's rest. That's all it's about, and paying attention to the inner environment of your body system, okay? We call that a parasympathetic, okay? Or rest or digest. Now, there's another nervous system that's also a part of it that we call the sympathetic nervous system, and that's what enables you to eat and, you know, write and run and do the things that you do voluntarily, okay? Now, the thing is, you need to have a balance between that sympathetic and parasympathetic. But most people have their sympathetic high and their parasympathetic very, very low. And it's one of the reasons that people have high blood pressure. So with breathing, you are trying to rest and relax so that you can get that involuntary side of your parasympathetic nervous system up and bring down the sympathetic. Because when you bring down the sympathetic, it means that your body now pays more attention to what is going on inside of you. Okay? When your sympathetic is high, then your body doesn't pay much attention to what's going on inside of you. Okay? So your body doesn't pay attention to its immune system. Your organs are not getting much attention. You are just focused on your outer environment. You are so tensed and worried about whether something is going to come and take away your peace of mind. Okay? And that's what we call emotional stress. The thing about emotional stress is sometimes you don't even realize that you are under emotional stress because of how long you have been in that state of mind. So let's assume you are going through a very, very important issue at home. Let's assume a marriage crisis. Okay? You can think about it so much and for a very long period of time that it just becomes your normal state of being. You no longer see it as I am being stressed out. You now see it as, this is my normal routine. Okay. So with breathing, it would help you get that parasympathetic higher so that your body can pay attention to your brain, pay attention to your heart, give your heart enough attention so that it can reduce how fast it is working. Pay attention to your blood vessel, the movement, your immune function, your digestive system. Pay attention to the things inside of you other than paying attention to the things outside of you. Okay. And the thing with emotional stress is sometimes we don't even choose to think about such things. It just happens. Okay. You don't really pick and choose your problems that you want to have in life. It just happens to you. So with these breathing patterns, that's how we get our parasympathetic readings. That's how we give enough attention to our parasympathetic, okay? So that we can have more time to focus on the things that are inside, okay? Now you can say, how does breathing help you, okay? How does something like breathing help you? It's simply paying attention to your brain and making sure that you are giving it enough rest to do the work that it needs to do, okay? Because when you are stressed out, every organ in your body is also stressed out. So when you give them time to relax and, get themselves together in shape, then you are also relaxed. That is in your outer environment. Okay. So I want us to try this breathing together. Okay. So we are going to breathe in for 4 seconds and we are going to breathe out for 4 seconds. And the beautiful thing about this is that you really cannot think about what you are going through or whatever it is that is causing you to have emotional stress at the same time as when you are breathing. Okay, so I want us to try it and let me know if you are still thinking about your problems. Okay, so focus on your breathing while you do it, and you would realize that you cannot think about you cannot focus on your breathing and also think about whatever it is that you are going through. Okay, so I hope that you can see me clearly if my laptop is giving me enough lighting. Okay. All right. So shall we try? So we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds and we'll breathe out for 4 seconds. We'll breathe out for 5 seconds. Okay. And pay attention to your breathing and let me know in the chat when we are done if you can focus on your breathing and still think about your emotional stress. Okay. All right. So we are breathing in. And then we breathe out. Let's try one more time. So we breathe in. And we breathe out. Okay. So let me know in the chat. Are you able to focus on your breathing and still think about your life issues? Okay. I know that I don't, but let me know. Is it the same for you? Are you able to focus on your breathing and still think about the things on your mind? Please let me know, okay? Okay, Mr. Victor. So I want you to focus more on you breathing in and you breathing out, okay? Because with this breathing for a hypertension reduction, you have to make sure that you are doing it right for you to see the results. So you, in your head, I want you to be counting your breaths. Imagine your breaths going in and, filling up your lungs, and then you breathing out for just 9 seconds, okay? So when you do that, you wouldn't be able to think about what you are going through at the same time if you focus on your breathing, okay? Anyone else? Just Mr. Victor? Anyone else? Hello, can you hear me now? Chama says she can't hear anything. Can you hear me now? I hope I'm clear. Hello, can you please type something in the chat if you can hear me? Okay, thank you. All right, so let's move on since there are no other contributions. Okay, all right. So another question that someone might have is, okay, if I do this breathing in for 4 seconds and then I breathe out again for 5 seconds, wouldn't my blood pressure reading just go up after I am done reading? Is this breathing pattern a sustainable thing, for me to do that would give me a lower blood pressure readings in the long run? The answer is yes. Okay. Now with this breathing, you have to do it continually for it to give you results. Okay. It's the same as your diet. Okay. If you go on a diet plan for hypertension, you don't just eat a meal and expect it to lower your blood pressure immediately you finish eating that meal, because it's not a magic meal. Okay. So your diet plan can work, but if you observe or you practice it in a blue moon, then it's not going to give you the results that you are looking for. So when you breathe like this, you would begin to engage what we call neuroplasticity, and it will then take your brain out of that state of being, emotionally stressed out that it is in most of the time. Okay. And you may ask, okay, what is neuroplasticity? So neuroplasticity is just you doing something continually, you building up a skill. And when you do that, it builds up certain pathways in your brain. Okay. Now, you know that there are many ways that you can lower your blood pressure. All right. You can lower BP by losing weight. You can lower blood pressure by controlling your diabetes, by exercising, going on a detox plan, going on a diet plan. And you can also lower your blood pressure by breathing. You can lower your blood pressure by taking supplements. You can lower your blood pressure by taking medications. So there are so many things, so many things. You can go on a herbal plan, whatever it is. Now, with breathing, when you engage your brain, okay, by breathing, you begin to form this pathway that your brain will begin to depend on if your other methods slack. Okay, so you have to think about it now as more of holistic health and not just focusing on one aspect of your health that may be the cause of your hypertension. So when it comes to you breathing continually, you have this pathway that will become thicker and your body would be able to depend on that pathway. It will be active and you begin to sustain your results. Okay, so let me give you simple examples of this. I learned how to play chess about 10 years ago. But if you ask me to play chess now, I cannot play chess now because I wasn't consistent learning how to play chess. Okay. Another thing is, let's assume someone asks you to write. Okay. If I ask you to write, your response should be to pick up a pen on your right hand and write. Okay. But if I say, okay, switch over to your left hand, you know how to write quite all right. You know how to move your pen, but it's not going to be smooth with your left hand. That is if you are right-handed. Okay. And if the opposite is the same for someone who is left-handed. So because you have been writing with your right hand for, since God knows when, that's already a pathway that your body can just depend on without you having to do anything, to write if I ask you to write. But if I ask you to switch to your left hand, it would be a problem for you. But if you use your left hand for the next 1 year to write, you will be good at it. Okay, so this is an example of your brain just building that pathway. You wouldn't have to think about it. And it's the same with your readings as well, your hypertensive readings. If you are able to build this breathing technique on a continual basis, okay, you know that every day you are going to try this breathing technique, it will get to a point where your body you wouldn't have to depend largely on other pathways. It would just be that breathing that your body would use to sustain your lower blood pressure results. Okay, so how long do you have to do this for you to gain this sustainability that we are talking about? I would recommend 1 to 2 times a day. Okay, and I would recommend that you do this for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, and you can do this for as long as you want. Okay, most people, when they practice deep breathing, if you just check your blood pressure reading and you practice this, you breathe in for 4 seconds, you breathe out for 5 seconds, okay, for 5 to 10 minutes. When you check your readings, it would not be the same, okay? So something as simple as breathing can have so many, many benefits on your health. It can reduce your blood pressure, it reduces your stress, it improves your overall blood circulation because now you are taking in more oxygen, okay? It also improves your digestion because many times we focus on what we are putting into our body, right? But we don't focus on, oh, what if my body doesn't actually digest food properly? What if my immune function is slacking? Okay, so in the Bible it says that oh, I hope I remember the quotes now, that Jesus said something about it's not what you put into your body that defiles a man, right? But what comes out of you, So yes, what you are eating matters, but you also have to think about if your internal organs are actually working as they are supposed to work, okay? And something as simple as breathing, okay, can help your brain and your heart to begin to work together. You gain in more oxygen, you have more nutrients. When you eat, does your body even absorb the nutrients you're supposed to absorb from that food that you are eating? Breathing is one of those things that would help to get your body back in shape without you having to take in pills and supplements and taking herbal drinks and medications to fix them. Okay, so it's something that we can overlook because it seems so easy and it seems like, how can something so simple actually help me as a hypertensive patient? But try it and have a more holistic view on your health and know that, okay, if I have tried other methods of eating and dieting and trying to lose weight and sleeping properly, etc., add this to your routine and see how far it gets you. All right, so this breathing technique can also help with your healing as well as your memory, your immune function, okay? And all because it helps with blood circulation. So if you do this for as long as you can, your body would have that breathing pathway as a dependent source. Okay, something that you would always fall back to, when your blood pressure rises. Okay, simply because you are no longer in that state of being emotionally stressed out. Okay, now let's also talk about how to breathe, because we think that we know how to breathe, but most of us are not breathing right. Okay, now when you want to have or practice this breathing technique, I don't want you to take shallow breaths, but I also don't want you to just fill your lungs like, that's not what I want, that's not what I want you to do. Okay, so I don't want you to be panting. That's not it. Okay, so your breaths are going to be deep, but they are not also going to be too deep. Okay, so I don't want you to take shallow breaths. I want you to take deep breaths, but you wouldn't fill your lungs to, its full capacity. Okay, another thing I want you to do is to breathe from your belly. So if you want to breathe and you put your hand on your belly and you breathe in, you would feel your stomach rising. Okay, you would notice that your hand is rising. And when you breathe out, your hand decreases. So you breathe in from your belly. It's like you are going down and then you come up. Okay, so, and then you feel your lungs not up to its maximum capacity. Okay, and then you let it out slowly. You also breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. When you are doing this, also sit upright. Okay, and also don't raise your shoulders, because when you begin to raise your shoulders, it means that your body is getting stressed out. Okay, now some of you may feel like, okay, I can breathe in for 4 seconds, but I cannot breathe out for 5 seconds. That's okay. You just breathe in and breathe out for as many beats as you can. Okay, recommended up to 5, but if you cannot get to 5, if you can breathe out for 3 or 4, no problem. But the point of it is that you breathe out slowly. Okay, now another thing is, some of you, when you try this breathing technique, you would notice that you are hooked kind of at your chest area. So what I want you to do is you would tuck the tip of your tongue, okay, behind your upper front teeth. Okay, so I hope that you can see me. The tip of your tongue, you put it at the upper front teeth. Okay, so that would help with your airway. Okay, and don't relax your tongue. Put it up above your teeth, and you would see that you would actually breathe better, and you wouldn't feel hooked at your chest level when you breathe in. So it helps you with your airway. You'll be able to get in enough air and also release enough air as well. Okay, so I want us to also practice this while we are live. Okay, and I hope that you are in a position to do it with me. So let's try this together again. Okay, so we're going to be breathing in for 4 seconds. I will do one with you, and then the subsequent ones I'll be counting for you. Okay, so if you can, please put your hand on your belly so that you can feel the movements, okay, of your belly going up and down. All right, so we breathe in for 4 seconds. Okay, so in and out. So remember to put the tip of your tongue at your upper teeth so that you can actually breathe in properly. Okay, so another one, we breathe in and out. So let your mind be in it. Okay, focus on how many breaths you are taking. Okay, and remember that you have to do this twice a day, one to two times a day for 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not something that you will just rush and do. Just take out 10 minutes of your time. I know that you are so busy and you have to put food on the table. If it's something that maybe when you wake up in the morning, you can do it, and then you come back at night, you do the same thing before you go to bed. That's great. Okay, but just take out 10 minutes, go out, maybe if you have a corridor, make sure that there is enough air around you, but not too much air. Don't sit in front of a fan, because that wouldn't help you breathe properly. Okay, so sit somewhere that is airy and you can breathe in properly and breathe. Okay, All right. So I want us to do I want us to do it again, but this time I'll be counting for you. Okay. So we breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, and we breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. In 1, 2, 3, 4, and we breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And please, please, please remember your tongue position. Very, very, very important. Okay. So I have an assignment for you if you would like to take the assignment. Okay. So this evening, take your blood pressure reading and practice this for the next 10 minutes. Okay. And let me know what your blood pressure reading is after you do this for 10 minutes. Let me know if there is a difference. Okay. And you can let me know tonight or tomorrow morning. And then I want you to engage neuroplasticity, repeat the process every single day. Try it for 1 week and see the changes in your blood pressure readings, okay? And let me know. So please, let's not overlook the small things, okay? By focusing on the internal environment, let's not overlook them and just think that, okay, because I'm not on one diet plan or because I'm not taking products, that it's not going to work for you, okay? Yes, so let's be more holistic in our view of reducing hypertension, okay? And with that, I am done with this session. Any questions, please? Any questions? Please ask me your questions, okay? Questions, comments, please let me know, okay? And if you don't have any questions or comments, we are done for tonight. Thank you for coming. Okay, I hope that this is helpful to you. Hey, please ask me your questions. And if you don't have any questions, we are good to go. Okay, you can leave. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Yes, Miss Elizabeth. Very simple, but the output is good. Any questions? Or comments? And if there are none, you are free to go. You're welcome. Okay, Mr. Shegan. What can't you get well? What part of the breathing can you get well? Does clapping of hands and armpits help to reduce blood pressure? Not that I know of at the moment, but I am curious to know if it can actually reduce blood pressure. So I would do a little research on this. Okay. But currently I don't have any information that clapping your hands and armpits can help to reduce hypertension. Okay. Yes, I would definitely send the replay when we are done. Okay. Okay. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Victor. Okay, Mr. Sheldon says, I can't get breathing in and breathing out. Okay, so you have to breathe in for 4 seconds and you breathe out for 5 seconds. Okay, and I also gave some instructions here on, you can screenshot this slide if you will, So I have these instructions here for you so that you can be in the right position. Okay. And also make sure that you are getting your breathing straight. And also remember that you have to do this twice a day for at least 5 to 10 minutes and for as long as you can. Okay, so it's just you breathing in and out like you would normally, but this time we are taking it much slower. Okay, much slower, Mr. Shegun. Okay, I don't know if you joined us quite late, but if you did, then no problem. I will just send in the replay. Okay, I'll send in the replay and you can watch from the beginning. You have a much better understanding. Okay. All right. So this would help for those of you specifically who your hypertension started. Maybe you had a jump scare. I've heard these stories of people having hypertension when someone scared them, or when you lose someone that is very, very dear to you. Your hypertension is not due to an eating or an unhealthy eating pattern per se. Okay, you are just under a lot of emotional stress. So this technique will be particularly helpful to you because, like I said, so many of you are under emotional stress, but you have taken it as a normal day-to-day activity that you don't even know that you are being stressed out. Okay, it's one of those things that life throws at you. Sometimes you go through things and that becomes your normal day-to-day life, So this will help you bring down that emotional stress, rewire certain things for you, get you back in shape emotionally, okay? So that your BP can come down. All right? Okay. Any other question? And if there are none, you are free to go. Okay? You're welcome, Mr. Joseph. Thank you for joining so early. Okay? All right. I wish you all the best of health. Okay? I wish you all the best of health. So I would stop recording now. Okay. Can you talk about this holistic treatment? Can we combine them in a day? Okay, when I say holistic, I mean not just focusing on one aspect of hypertension to reduce your high blood pressure. Okay, so you try many different things. First of all, when you are treating hypertension, you have to know the cause of your high blood pressure. Okay, so if it is linked to an unhealthy eating pattern, then changing your diet would help. But you also have to realize that it's not just about you eating. Your digestion matters, how your body absorbs nutrients matters, your the different functions of your body, of your organs, they matter. Okay, so what I'm saying is, instead of just streamlining yourself to one particular route to blood pressure reduction, try and be open-minded. And one of the ways you can be open-minded is by incorporating this breathing technique into your routine. Okay, so you can do this in the morning, do this in the afternoon. The point of this is just so that you can relax. Okay, so when you now begin to bring in things like your breathing and your mindset and how you think about life, all these things play a role in bringing down your blood pressure overall. Okay, so holistic treatments just means that you are looking at every single area of your life. Okay, your spiritual life, your physical health, your emotional health, your social health, everything plays a role in your blood pressure management. Okay, so it's not something that it's not a pill or something that you can consume. It's just you being aware that so many different things can cause you to be hypertensive, and your hypertension is not determined by just one thing alone. Okay, so I hope that helps you, Mr. Kendi. Okay, all right. You're welcome. You're welcome, ma'am. Okay. Any other question? Any other question or comments? If not, you are free to go. Okay. You're welcome, sir. Okay. Have a blessed week. I wish you all the best. So I would stop sharing and I would end the meeting now. Okay. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.